Well, this promotion was certainly beyond done by this point. I'm John Renton with the Retro Review of World Class Championship Wrestling Parade of Champions 4 for May 9th, 1987. This can be found on the Classic Wrestling Stuff YouTube channel. Check out their stuff as well as 4 Wrestling Fans and a few others. That's 4 Wrestling Fans, by the way, for various territorial events that may not make it to Peacock, because it's really nice that these memories are being kept alive on YouTube. And it's great for wrestling fans like myself to dive into stuff that I wasn't really able to see except maybe on tapes like when I was young, because I had a buddy that did a lot of tape trading. So it's really cool to go back and rewatch this stuff. This event wasn't particularly good. World Class was just, it was eroding so goddamn fast. It was eroding like probably about a year before this. But even if you take a look at the attendance of the Parade of Champions 3 event, 24,100 some odd people. 5,900 for this, because it was a memorial for David Von Erich, but then Mike Von Erich passed away just a month prior, and the fans just couldn't take it. They couldn't take the tragedies. They loved the Von Erichs, but the tragedies hating them. Kerry Von Erich had his motorcycle accident. You had, the death of Gino Hernandez. And more tragedies would befall the world-class roster, and then the company would just erode and rot and be bought out like about a year and a half after this. It was really goddamn sad to see. So, yeah, Mark Lawrence does the introductions, and we have a scaffold above the ring for one of the premier matches. Matt Bourne, the guy that likes to touch underage girls, and that guy's a fucking goddamn piece of shit, and you know what I mean. Read up on it. And Scott Casey took on Black Bart and Jack Victory with Percy Pringle. Well, they used the scaffold for some bumps, and Percy Pringle yelled about that, and it just wasn't good. Bart hit a leg drop and busted his ass because he missed said leg drop, but didn't miss the ring. It'd be hard to miss the ring unless you just fall into a vortex of, nothingness. And then Bourne got the hot tag and hit a catch slam 1, 2, 3. Bart hits an atomic drop on Jack on the outside. Steve Dahl took on Killer Tim Brooks, brought to you by Punching and Rolling by Killer Tim Brooks. There were some rest holds. Dahl did his leg worked on, so when he hit a slam, he favored his leg. They tried to make it look like it at least didn't look that bad. At least he thankfully didn't drop him on his goddamn head. But he got an inside cradle, 1, 2, 3. There wasn't a lot to these matches. Moving on, Cousin Jr. versus the Grappler. They tried. It wasn't good. Jr. did hit a nice head scissors in the corner and splash off the top later, 1, 2, 3. That's about it right there. Red River Jack, which wasn't Bruiser Brody under a mask. How dare you fucking say that? It was. And Spike Huber, that I'm not familiar with, took on Abdullah the Butcher and Eli the Eliminator. Not Eli the Eliminator, but just Eli the Eliminator. With Gary Hart. If the faces win, Jack faces Gary, because they had a history. And by the way, a line from Bill Mercer. The winners and losers have left to win and lose in this bout. Technically correct, Bill. And they brawl outside. We get a slam on the wood. Butcher was shit and cried crocodile tears when he saw the stuff, at the end, dark side of the ring. Because he didn't feel sorry for what happened to Bruiser Brody because he took money over friendship. Anyway, hot tag to Huber. We get 2 leg drops for 2. Jack and Abdullah spill outside. Huber tops Eli after a trip, 1, 2, 3. I don't know who the fuck the guy in the suit was, the suit jacket was, that tripped up Eli the Eliminator. So then we get Jack bleeding through his mask, took on Gary Hart. It was a brawl and a count out. Gary Hart got his shirt ripped off. That's what we all needed to see. Mil Mascaras, or Mascaras, or Mascara. Mascara, there we go. Well, let's just go with that. Took on Al Madril. The name rings a bell. Can't tell you much more about him. Mil not selling much. Shocking. Flying shoulder headbutt. It was a chop. It was a flying chop. Bill seemed smart enough to understand moves. But anyway, crossbody 1, 2, 3. Skip Young versus Brian Adias was cut. Oh no. Kevin Von Erich took on Nord the Barbarian. Thankfully, Nord the Barbarian did not bring his sword to almost stab people because he wasn't the Berserker yet. World Class Wrestling Association World Heavyweight Championship, and Antonio Inoki was supposed to face Kevin. That would have been interesting. A serious edit, and I don't know how much of the match was cut. The match was fine with what we saw. Nord targeted the ribs, with headbutts and stuff like that. And we get the claw time. They tumble over the top in a dangerous move. They tumble backwards. And then double count out, brawl continues into the fans. Wrestlers had to break it up, all that. A match that was cut, by the way. Candy Divine defeating 5 women in a mud pit. They loved women. They respected women in World Class. All right, Fantastics and Steve Simpson, took on Eric Ambry and the Rock and Roll RPMs, Tommy Lane and Mike Davis in a 6-man scaffold match. Mark Lawrence was going to finish those goddamn ring introductions come hell or high water. That was really about it there. They battled on a scaffold. It didn't look wobbly, but it was still dangerous, and it was fine. We got powder in Embry's eyes, and he took a tumble where I swear to God he shattered his femur. because it's just the way he took it. I mean, Eric Embry was a good territorial wrestler, but still hard to learn how to fall off of a scaffold. And he loses. So he loses for his team. That's about it. Brody took on Jeep Svensson. The Final Solution in WCW and Bane in the Batman and Robin movie. No, really, that was him. They called him the Final Solution. Good God. Big men smashing into each other and bleeding because Brody bled because he was bleeding previously because he was under the mask and he hits him in the chest with a chair and then Brody tops him 1, 2, 3. That's it. And I'm going to review the Cotton Bowl Extravaganza 4 event sometime after this. So, yeah, look out for that review. Probably less territorial wrestling that I'll be reviewing in May, but I want to get some stuff out of the way before YouTube pulls it. You know, copyrights and all that stuff because WWE owning the footage. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retland. I'll see you soon.